Have you ever found yourself feeling unusually tired, low on energy, or just not quite like yourself, even after getting a good night's sleep or eating well? If you're over 60, you might have chalked it up to aging, but what if the problem isn't your age, but something far simpler and easier to fix? Believe it or not, some of the most common health issues in older adults, from fatigue and brain fog to chronic inflammation and infections, may actually stem from something as basic as poor hygiene. And I'm not talking about skipping a shower or forgetting to brush your teeth. I'm talking about 5 specific areas of the body that most people completely overlook when it comes to cleanliness. These spots are small, often hidden, and rarely talked about, but neglecting them can have surprisingly serious consequences for your overall health. The tongue, feet, armpits, nasal passages, and even the belly button all play a much bigger role in your well-being than you might think. In this video, we're going to explore each of these often forgotten areas and show you exactly how keeping them clean can boost your energy, improve your circulation, reduce the risk of infections, and even support your immune system and brain health. You'll also hear real-life stories from people who made simple changes in their hygiene routines and experienced powerful improvements in how they feel every day. The best part? These habits don't require expensive products, complicated routines, or hours out of your day. Just a few intentional minutes of care can completely transform how your body functions and how you feel in your own skin. So, if you're ready to take your health into your own hands, starting with the areas most people forget, stick with us. By the end of this video, you'll not only be surprised by how much you've been missing but also empowered to make small, meaningful changes that can help you feel stronger, healthier, and more alive than you have in years. Let's begin with one of the most underestimated parts of the body when it comes to hygiene, the tongue. Most people, especially older adults, think that brushing their teeth alone is enough to maintain good oral health. But here's the truth: if you're skipping your tongue, you're leaving behind a hidden world of bacteria that could be quietly sabotaging your health. The tongue isn't just a surface for tasting food, it's a warm, moist, textured environment that's perfect for bacteria, fungi, and even food particles to accumulate and thrive. Over time, this buildup can lead to more than just bad breath. When harmful bacteria aren't properly removed, they can travel from your mouth into your bloodstream. And for people over 60 or 70, this is especially risky. Research has linked poor oral hygiene, including tongue neglect, to an increased risk of heart disease, diabetes, pneumonia, and even Alzheimer's disease. That's right, something as simple as cleaning your tongue can impact your cardiovascular and brain health. But how does this happen? The bacteria on your tongue produce toxins and cause inflammation in your mouth, which can spread throughout your body. Your immune system has to work harder to fight off the constant low-grade infection, weakening its ability to handle other threats. This can leave you more vulnerable to illness, fatigue, and chronic health problems. And let's not forget the more immediate effects, like dry mouth, a diminished sense of taste, and persistent bad breath, which can affect your confidence and social interactions. Now, here's a true story that shows just how powerful this one small change can be. Laura, a retired teacher in her early 60s, had been feeling increasingly tired, bloated, and disconnected from her food. She assumed her changing appetite and low energy were just part of aging. But after visiting a nutritionist, she was asked one simple question: do you clean your tongue? Surprised, she admitted she didn't. She thought brushing her teeth and rinsing with mouthwash were more than enough. But she decided to give tongue cleaning a try. She bought a stainless steel tongue scraper and started using it for just 2 minutes every morning before breakfast. Within days, Laura noticed a huge difference. Her mouth felt fresher, her food tasted better, and even her digestion improved. She began eating more balanced meals because she could finally taste subtle flavors again. After a few weeks, her energy returned, and she felt more like herself than she had in years. And she didn't change anything else, just added tongue scraping to her morning routine. This isn't just a fluke. Studies show that cleaning the tongue reduces bacterial load in the mouth, decreases inflammation markers in the blood, and enhances your immune system's ability to protect you. If you're wondering how to start, it's simple. You can use a metal or plastic tongue scraper, both are effective. You stick out your tongue and gently drag the scraper from the back to the front a few times, rinsing it between each pass. Do this once or twice a day, ideally in the morning when bacteria levels are highest. If you don't have a scraper, even brushing your tongue gently with a soft toothbrush is better than nothing. The key is consistency. After scraping, rinse your mouth and drink a glass of water to flush out any remaining toxins. It's a quick, cost-effective routine that takes less than 5 minutes but delivers big results. Think about it this way: your tongue is like a filter. If you never clean it, it clogs up, and what you taste, absorb, and feel is dulled. But when it's clean, your mouth functions better, your food becomes more enjoyable, and your body gets the signals it needs to function properly. And if you're already dealing with chronic conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or arthritis, tongue hygiene can be an important part of your management routine. So next time you brush your teeth, ask yourself, am I really cleaning my whole mouth? Don't let years of good hygiene habits fall short just because of one small overlooked area. Taking care of your tongue is taking care of your whole body, and it could be one of the easiest, most impactful changes you make this year. Now let's move down to something that literally supports us every single day: our feet. Most of us rarely think about our feet beyond putting on socks and shoes or giving them a quick rinse in the shower. But for older adults, especially those over 60 or 70, proper foot hygiene isn't just about comfort, it's about maintaining mobility, balance, and even preventing life-threatening infections. The skin on your feet is thicker and often drier than elsewhere on your body, and that makes it more vulnerable to cracking, which opens the door for bacteria and fungi. Combine that with reduced circulation, a common issue with aging, and you have the perfect storm for infection, sores, or even ulcers, particularly in those with diabetes or cardiovascular disease. Think about this: your feet are enclosed in socks and shoes for hours each day, creating a dark, moist environment where bacteria and fungi thrive. If you don't regularly clean between your toes, dry your feet thoroughly, and inspect the skin and nails, you could be missing early warning signs of problems that can snowball into major health issues. Take Tom, a 68-year-old retired airline pilot. After years of long flights and standing for extended periods, he began experiencing frequent itching and redness on his feet. He dismissed it as dry skin due to age. But over time, the discomfort got worse. He developed athlete's foot, which led to cracked skin and eventually a painful bacterial infection that required antibiotics and weekly visits to the podiatrist. It wasn't until he adopted a consistent, thorough foot hygiene routine that things turned around. Every evening, Tom began soaking his feet for 10 minutes in warm water with a pinch of Epsom salt, gently scrubbing with a soft brush, drying carefully, especially between the toes, and applying a light, fragrance-free moisturizer. He also started inspecting his feet each day with a small mirror to catch any redness, cuts, or changes early. Within weeks, not only had the infection cleared up, but his feet felt better, his balance improved, and even his lower back pain reduced, likely because he was walking more comfortably and confidently. Foot hygiene, as it turns out, affects much more than just the feet. When your feet are in pain or discomfort, your gait changes, your posture shifts, and that can lead to knee, hip, and back problems. Not to mention, unclean feet can lead to fungal nail infections, thickened toenails, and foul odors that can make social interaction uncomfortable and embarrassing. But beyond the physical, there's also an emotional toll. Many older adults begin to avoid going out or joining group activities because of foot pain or self-consciousness about foot odor. That's no way to enjoy your golden years. And it's completely preventable. Another important factor? Poor foot hygiene has been linked to increased fall risk. Falls are the leading cause of injury in older adults, and unsteady footing caused by sore, infected, or improperly cared for feet plays a big role. By simply taking 5 to 10 minutes a day to care for your feet, you are literally reducing your risk of hospital visits, fractures, and long recovery periods. It's not just about feeling clean, it's about staying safe and independent. So what's the best way to care for your feet? Start by washing them daily with warm water and a gentle soap, making sure to reach between the toes. Use a soft washcloth or sponge to remove any dead skin, and then dry them thoroughly, especially the spaces between the toes, which are hotspots for fungal growth. After drying, apply a light moisturizer to the tops and bottoms of your feet, but avoid the spaces between your toes to prevent excess moisture buildup. Inspect your feet every day for signs of swelling, redness, cuts, or blisters, and never ignore pain or strange sensations. Trim your toenails straight across to avoid ingrown nails, and if you have difficulty reaching them, don't hesitate to seek professional help from a podiatrist. Wearing breathable socks and changing them daily can also go a long way in preventing problems. Remember, your feet are your foundation. If you care for them well, they'll carry you with strength and stability through your later years. Don't wait until something hurts to start paying attention. Prevention is key. Give your feet the attention they deserve. They've earned it after a lifetime of supporting you. Moving on to a part of the body that often gets reduced to just a place for deodorant, your armpits. Most people, especially older adults, don't realize that the armpits are more than just zones for sweat and odor. They are actually complex and vital regions that play a key role in your body's detoxification and immune defense. Nestled beneath your arms is a network of lymph nodes, tiny, bean-shaped glands that help filter out toxins, bacteria, and waste from your body. These lymph nodes are part of the lymphatic system, which supports your immune function and helps your body fight off infection. So when you neglect the hygiene of your armpits, you're not just dealing with odor, you're potentially compromising a key component of your health. Take Elizabeth, a 74-year-old retired nurse. She began experiencing frequent irritation, itching, and even recurring rashes in her underarms. For years, she attributed it to sensitive skin or her deodorant brand. But what she eventually discovered was that she hadn't been cleansing her underarms properly, just a quick rinse in the shower and a swipe of antiperspirant. Once she switched to using a gentle, pH-balanced soap and began thoroughly washing and drying her armpits each day, the rashes disappeared, and she started feeling better overall. The armpits are warm, moist environments that easily trap sweat, dead skin, and bacteria. And as we age, our skin becomes thinner and more sensitive, meaning that buildup in these areas can lead to discomfort or even infection more easily than when we were younger. Additionally, older adults often experience changes in body chemistry, hormones shift, the skin's natural oil production decreases, and immune responses slow. This makes it even more important to pay attention to hygiene in delicate areas like the underarms. But here's where it gets interesting. When armpit hygiene is improved, many people report feeling more energetic. Why? Because inflammation and bacterial load in the body can drain your energy, even if you don't feel actively sick. Think of your immune system as a busy city. When it's clogged with unnecessary traffic, like toxins and bacteria that could have been washed away, everything slows down. But when you keep that system clean and flowing, your body can focus its energy on healing, thinking clearly, and staying active. A good armpit hygiene routine doesn't have to be complicated or harsh. In fact, many conventional deodorants and antiperspirants contain aluminum, parabens, and alcohols that can irritate the skin and even disrupt the natural flora of your underarms. A growing number of seniors are turning to natural alternatives, not just to reduce odor, but to maintain the health of this sensitive area. Washing your underarms thoroughly with warm water and a gentle, unscented soap once or twice a day, especially after sweating, is a great first step. Use your hands or a soft washcloth to make sure you remove all residue, and don't forget to dry thoroughly. Moisture trapped in the underarms is the perfect breeding ground for yeast and bacteria. After washing, give your armpits a few minutes to air out before applying anything. If you use deodorant, consider choosing one that's free from alcohols, synthetic fragrances, and aluminum. Some people even use a few drops of diluted tea tree oil or witch hazel, both of which are naturally antibacterial and soothing. And don't underestimate the power of clothing choices. Breathable fabrics like cotton allow your underarms to stay drier and less prone to irritation. Even things like posture and how your arms hang during the day can influence airflow and skin contact, which is why regular movement and stretching can also help prevent underarm skin issues. For seniors who suffer from limited mobility, it's especially important to ensure that armpit areas are cleaned thoroughly, as less movement means more opportunity for sweat and bacteria to collect unnoticed. In extreme cases, poor armpit hygiene has led to painful abscesses, inflamed lymph nodes, or persistent body odor that affects self-confidence and social interaction. But the good news is that these outcomes are easily preventable. Just a few extra minutes of care can result in cleaner skin, fresher smell, and better overall immune support. When your armpits are clean and healthy, your body doesn't have to work as hard to fight unnecessary irritation and inflammation, freeing up energy for more important things, like enjoying your day, going for a walk, or spending time with loved ones. So next time you shower, give those underarms the attention they deserve. They're doing more for you than you think. Let's now move to something you might not have thought much about, your nose. More specifically, your nasal passages, which act as the front line of defense for your lungs and your brain. Every breath you take brings in not just oxygen, but also dust, pollen, bacteria, viruses, and airborne pollutants. Fortunately, your nose is equipped with tiny hairs and mucus that work hard to trap and filter out these harmful intruders. But here's the catch: if your nasal passages aren't kept clean, this natural filtering system becomes sluggish, clogged, and inflamed. For seniors, this can lead to chronic congestion, sinus infections, headaches, fatigue, and even cognitive fog. And yet, many people don't think twice about nose hygiene. John, a 72-year-old retired construction worker, used to feel constantly run down. He was always clearing his throat, sneezing, and waking up with a dry mouth. He assumed it was just part of aging or leftover dust exposure from his career. But a simple change transformed his life. He began using a gentle saline nasal rinse every morning. Within days, his breathing improved. Within weeks, his energy levels were up, and he felt mentally sharper than he had in years. This isn't magic, it's science. Clean nasal passages mean better oxygen flow to your brain and body. And oxygen is your body's fuel. When your nose is blocked, even slightly, it forces your lungs and heart to work harder. Over time, this strain can contribute to fatigue, poor sleep, and lower resistance to illness. For older adults, who are already more vulnerable to respiratory infections and reduced lung capacity, this becomes even more critical. Plus, when nasal passages are congested, it can affect how you taste and smell, which are both important for appetite and safety. Think about detecting spoiled food or smoke. Fortunately, nasal hygiene is one of the easiest and most affordable things you can add to your routine. A basic saline rinse, available at any pharmacy or made at home with distilled water and non-iodized salt, can flush out mucus, allergens, and pollutants. Tools like neti pots or squeeze bottles make it simple. Just tilt your head slightly, pour the solution in one nostril, and let it drain from the other. The first time might feel a little strange, but it's painless and deeply refreshing. Within a few uses, most people feel the difference, not only in their breathing but also in their mental clarity. And if you live in a dry environment or spend time in heated rooms, your nasal passages can become dry and cracked, making them even more vulnerable to infection. A thin layer of saline gel applied inside the nostrils can keep the tissues moist and protected. And here's another thing: cleaning your nose also helps prevent snoring. Many seniors deal with disrupted sleep, and partially blocked nasal passages are a big reason why. When airflow is obstructed, snoring and mouth breathing take over, leading to dry mouth, fragmented sleep, and less oxygen reaching the brain at night. Improving nasal airflow can mean better rest, which in turn boosts memory, mood, and energy during the day. Additionally, by removing allergens and irritants from the nose, you reduce your body's inflammatory response, which can otherwise affect everything from joint pain to cognitive function. It's also worth noting that some medications seniors use, like antihistamines or decongestants, can dry out the nose and make the problem worse, so mechanical cleaning methods like rinses are a great alternative. And just like with other hygiene habits, consistency is key. A quick rinse in the morning or before bed can become as routine as brushing your teeth. It's not about being perfect every day, it's about giving your body what it needs to function at its best. Even just a few seconds of nasal care can make you feel more awake, more relaxed, and more in control of your breathing. So don't overlook this small but mighty part of your body. The nose isn't just for smelling flowers, it's your body's air filter, gatekeeper, and oxygen manager. Treat it well, and you'll breathe easier, sleep deeper, and feel better, day in and day out. Now let's talk about one of the most forgotten and underestimated areas of the body when it comes to hygiene, the belly button. Yes, that small indentation in the center of your stomach that most of us ignore unless it's causing discomfort. But here's the truth, your belly button is not just a harmless leftover from your umbilical cord, it's actually a warm, moist, enclosed space that can harbor bacteria, sweat, lint, dead skin cells, and oils. Over time, if it's not cleaned properly, it can develop an unpleasant odor, irritation, and even infection. In fact, studies have shown that the average belly button can contain over 60 types of bacteria, some of which can contribute to yeast overgrowth or even lead to painful abscesses. For older adults, who may already have compromised immune systems or sensitive skin, neglecting this tiny area can snowball into bigger issues. Take Jane, a 78-year-old woman who had always taken pride in keeping her home spotless and her appearance tidy. But for years, she suffered from occasional itching and redness around her abdomen, which she assumed was just dry skin or sensitivity to fabrics. It wasn't until her daughter, a nurse, suggested looking at the belly button that they realized the source of the problem. It was slightly inflamed, and once they began a simple routine of gently cleaning the area with warm water and mild soap a few times a week, the symptoms disappeared completely. It may seem like a small change, but Jane said she felt fresher and more confident just from that one act of care. The truth is, because the belly button is a recessed, enclosed area, it doesn't get the same exposure to air or cleansing that the rest of your skin does. Sweat can collect there, especially in warmer weather or during physical activity, and when it mixes with bacteria or fungal organisms, it creates a perfect environment for skin problems. This is particularly true for people with deeper navels, those who are overweight, or those who wear tight-fitting clothes. If the area isn't cleaned, it can start to smell musty or sour, which often goes unnoticed by the person but may be obvious to others. Infections can appear as redness, swelling, or oozing, and in severe cases, a trip to the doctor may be necessary to drain and treat it. But this is entirely preventable with regular care. So, what should you do? First, never dig or scrub aggressively. The skin in and around the belly button is delicate and can easily become irritated. Use a warm, damp washcloth or a cotton swab dipped in mild, fragrance-free soap to gently clean the area. Rinse thoroughly and make sure the belly button is completely dry afterward. This step is critical because moisture is what allows bacteria and fungus to thrive. If you have an any belly button, you may need to clean a little deeper, but always do so gently and never insert anything sharp or harsh. For some seniors with mobility challenges or difficulty reaching that part of their body, asking a caregiver to help or using a long-handled soft wash tool can make the task easier and safer. And it's not just about cleanliness. Regularly checking and caring for the belly button can also help detect other issues early, such as hernias or unusual lumps. It only takes a minute or two as part of your bathing routine, yet it can save you from weeks of discomfort or complications. Think of it as taking care of the little things so the big things don't break down later. It's a small act of self-respect that pays off in hygiene, comfort, and overall well-being. After all, when your body feels clean and healthy, even in the places no one sees, it boosts your confidence and energy. It's a quiet kind of self-care that radiates outward. So, the next time you take a shower or get dressed, don't forget to give your belly button the attention it deserves. It may be small, but it plays a bigger role in your health than you ever realized. So, what have we learned today? Sometimes the greatest impact on our health doesn't come from major changes or complicated routines. It comes from simple habits done consistently. Our bodies, especially as we age, rely on small acts of daily care to function at their best. And the truth is, we often overlook the places that need attention the most. From the tongue that affects our taste and immune system, to the feet that carry us through life, to the armpits that help filter toxins, the nasal passages that protect our lungs and brain, and yes, Even the belly button that can quietly harbor harmful bacteria, all of these areas matter more than we think. Ignoring them doesn't just result in minor discomfort, it can actually lead to infections, chronic fatigue, inflammation, and more serious health issues down the line. But the good news is that every one of these areas can be cared for with just a few minutes a day, using tools and products you probably already have at home. These are not drastic changes, they're manageable steps that, when added to your daily routine, can improve your energy, your comfort, and even your confidence. Imagine waking up with a clearer head, breathing more easily, walking without foot pain, or simply feeling fresher all day. Those aren't luxuries, they're what everyone deserves, no matter their age. You don't need a special diet, a gym membership, or a big budget to start feeling better. You just need a little awareness and a willingness to treat your body with the care it's been asking for. So today, I challenge you to pick one of these 5 areas and start there. Just one. Try it for a week and see how you feel. I promise, your body will thank you, and you might be surprised at how much better life feels when you take the time to care for the parts of you that rarely get the spotlight. After all, good health really does start with the little things.